Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. You guys know me. I'm Nancy Ganzekufer, business coach and body language trainer to interior designers, and I am here with my associate coach, Lesley Myrick. Welcome, Lesley.
Good morning, Nancy. How you doing?
I'm fine, except I lost my Instagram window, and I'm trying to go live on Instagram simultaneously. So let me go find that.
I know people watching probably think like, oh, it's just coming live. The stuff behind the scenes is hilariously complicated. I've got 75 windows open and I'm trying to keep track of all of it and press the right buttons. It's okay.
I know. People think we just go live and chat, but yeah, we have windows open and things that don't work and finding links. It's all kinds of fun stuff, but we make sure we come live every Thursday to help everyone become a profitable interior designer, right? And so one of the ways that we like our designers to get educated in their field of interior design is to try to go to one of the markets all around the United States. And actually there's many around the world, but we're going to talk today specifically about High Point, North Carolina.
The big one.
It's a big one. So for those of you, excuse my dog barking, I have a feeling my groceries are being delivered. Yes, because I do things sometimes in my personal life to help me manage my time, which we also teach in our programs. But today we're talking about High Point and getting there. So when was the first time you went to High Point?
Probably 7 years ago. And it was actually because I won a trip to High Point through a promotion. And I'm so glad I did because I hadn't gone because of the intimidation factor. It's so big. It's overwhelming. It was something that I was kind of like, one day I'll go to High Point. One day I'll go to High Point. And I'm so glad I had that entry point that got me comfortable with it and I learned all about it. And now I go back every year. So it's been a few years. I think it's something that I don't go to every market. I find it a bit overwhelming to go twice a year, but once a year or so, it is so valuable, not only for finding new products and vendors, but the networking, the educational component, just getting out from behind your desk, getting re-inspired, re-energized, re-excited about what we do.
Yes. And I think that's the biggest thing for designers is that inspiration and meeting other designers. And even though it's intimidating, there are ways that you can work High Point to your benefit. So if it's your first time going, I always recommend getting a tour.
Yes.
Right? So Wendy Wallace-Chuck does a tour. There's many different types of tours there as well. Some are free, some are paid. The Interior Design Society always tries to put together a tour, and that's usually the one with Wendy. Yeah. So if you're not sure what to do your first time, come into my larger Facebook group, the Interior Design Business Forum, and ask, does anyone know of any tours going on for the next High Point market? Or you can literally go to the search and say tours and come up with some of them that I allow people to post in our group, because I just think it's so beneficial for everyone to go at least once and then possibly every year or at least every other year. I think every year is a lot for some people.
It is. I haven't been in over a year now, so I'm excited to go back in April. I'm not going to fall market, unfortunately. So yeah, I would say that's probably every 2 to 3 markets seems to kind of be a sweet spot.
Yes, I think so too. All right, so let's talk about how to make the most out of High Point. Now, I have a free resource that's in the description that talks about how to network, right? Networking tips at High Point. So we have that. It's free. Please grab it. If you've even been to High Point or not been to High Point, I think I can share that. Mm-hmm. Okay, except that I'm still having a mouse situation, but let me try to present the share screen. Let's see, the 19 things to do at High Point. It's actually, I believe, up on my screen. Yes, people can see it. Okay, so some of the things that we suggest, and you're not going to do all of these, but when you're nervous, it's nice to have a little list and try to focus on a couple of things. So you can download this list, but let's go over just a few of them. Introduce yourself to someone at the registration or food line. Understand that a lot of people are there by themselves and they're dying to talk to somebody and kind of buddy up sometimes with people. Have you ever done that? Actually just introduced yourself?
Rarely, but it helps that everyone has name tags. It kind of takes the intimidation factor out of it. So
Yes.
I will sometimes. I'm an introvert, so this does take a lot of energy for me and a lot of effort. And I want to just encourage people with that we're not saying this is all easy, but these are such valuable things to do. And once you've broken that ice, it is really nice to have a buddy, a familiar face. You pass them again on the street later, you give them a wave. It takes the intimidation factor out of it when you start to get to know people there. So I think that's a great tip.
Yes. And there's a lot of them here. I won't go through all of them, but talk to a rep in a showroom. Don't just walk around and say, I'd like to talk to a rep. This way you can ask questions about the product and the setting up an account possibly, or how you can start purchasing through them. This one's a tough one for many. Sit in the front row for a session, an educational session, instead of in the back row, right? Sit in the front row, look people in the eye, the presenters, people like you and I do these roundtables and presentations all the time, not this October, but we love to meet people. We love when people come up to us and say hi. I remember one time, I'm going to stop my share if I can figure out how to do that. I remember one year I was at High Point walking. I went by myself, and I was already a coach, but just starting to be a coach. And I'm walking down one side of the street, and on the other side of the street, someone's like, and they start like waving to me. And I'm thinking, I think I know that little face from Facebook. Right? Like, it's great to meet people in person for the first time, not just in this screen, right? And I always joke around, I should walk around with a frame around me so people
recognize you.
Yeah, because I'm much shorter than people think. Sometimes they don't recognize me. But anyway, let's go over some of the tips that we had discussed in advance. Now my screens are all messed up. So,
well, the first point was sign up for a tour. Source that resource in the Interior Design Business Forum. The High Point website is a great resource. They will help you get connected with the right people and the right tours. Second thing is to schedule your itinerary in advance, but don't over plan. You could fill every minute of all 6 days at High Point easy peasy with stuff, but you don't want to do that. What I tend to do is look through the educational calendar, figure out what are the events I want to go to, what talks, what speakers, what designers do I want to see. And if some of them do require registration, so you do need to plan ahead for this.
Yes.
I plan for some of those. I then search on the left there. You'll see you can search by day. There's different types. You can search by food. And I literally plan my lunches based on the events that have food. You can eat very well at High Point for free.
Yeah, and I don't know if people even realize that the highpointmarket.org has an events page, which is why I'm bringing it up so everybody can see. And you can say, I just want to go Friday. What's going on Friday? And now it'll give you just so the days you're going, rather than keeping it open the way I just had it. It's very overwhelming because just Friday, look at all the events. I mean, this is just one day. So yes, you want to plan to go to some showrooms of manufacturers and companies. You want to see their brands, learn about their product, learn about their companies, meet your rep. But you also don't want to miss out on the social events that you can just say, just give me all the social events. You can go and say, just give me the food and drink.
That's my favorite search.
So let's go, food and drink.
Truly, and I'm being a little bit facetious with it, but it is nice to know where you can go to get lunch and stay fueled up and keep going on your day. And honestly, I've discovered some new showrooms this way. Showrooms I might not have gone to before. I end up going in and discovering something great. So don't rule that out. It's a great time to explore. I want to point out too, you'll see under each event, it's sort of grayed out and there's a star and it says add to my market. If you're logged in, you can save events and there's an app. So on your phone, you can have your whole event calendar links. It gives you maps they really have made this easy if you utilize the tool. So between the High Point website and the High Point Market app, you should have a very solid plan in your hands when you're at market. It's very helpful.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. Don't overbook yourselves. Okay. Do not. Let me point out one other thing, and I didn't show it there, but they also have a plan your trip tab, which there are some really helpful people on the other side of that phone number, where the first time I went to High Point, I was an art consultant, and I was the president or vice president of the Interior Design Society Long Island chapter. And in the last minute, I grabbed one of the designers in the chapter. I'm like, we should go to High Point. She's like, I said, I don't want to go by myself. She's like, all right, let's do it. When I tell you it was last minute, 2 weeks before. So I didn't know about High Point Market website. I didn't know they could help me find a hotel. None of it. We end up booking a hotel.
Uh-oh.
And, yeah, it was bad. And airfare. When we landed, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who didn't have an Uber sign was like, we can drive you. I can take you. I can take you. Because people come out of the woodwork twice a year for High Point Market, and they try to become little taxis. So just please be careful. Yes. In the end, I found an official taxi or Uber. I really don't remember. And when he went to drop us off, he goes, ladies, I don't feel comfortable dropping you off at this hotel. It was like a hotel motel, and you fill in the blanks. When we got inside the room, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, how do we even sleep in these beds? It was really disgusting. And had we had like one of those infrared lights, I'm sure we would have run like hell, but we had nowhere to go. So we made it work with some clean sheets and whatever. But here's my point of telling you this story. Don't do what I did. Plan it in freaking advance, because it was really hard. We only stayed 2 nights, but it was so hard to go back to that hotel motel every night and sleep. So I thought, I'm never doing this again. Plan in advance and use the High Point Market website to help you plan the trip. There are hotels that are on the bus route, because this is a whole town, people. This is not like a small town, like a vacation town. This is a town that is basically an outdoor mall.
Unless you have a car, you definitely want to get a hotel through the High Point website, because they've got them all listed by distance and what bus routes they're on. And the buses are free, so don't worry about that. But they will shuttle you to and from market every day from your hotel.
Absolutely. So it's a plan in advance, schedule your itinerary. Do not over plan, because it's exhausting. I don't know how to explain to someone how walking nonstop on hard floors and through concrete to get to different buildings and socializing as you go is exhausting.
So much input. Like, you're looking at products and you're meeting people. It like, you hit the pillow at night and you're done. And there's free alcohol everywhere. I'm giving you this tip from my first time. I couldn't sleep the first night, and I couldn't figure out why, because I was tired. I'd had 8 drinks that day, Nancy.
Oh my God.
I'm not a big
crazy.
I'm telling you, like, from like Bloody Mary's first thing in the morning to champagne, like every showroom, and you don't think about it. And then you wonder why you're not feeling great. So watch the alcohol intake. You're going to get all your steps in. Wear the comfy shoes. Don't overplan. Give yourself some breathing space. Give yourself some time for spontaneity. If something comes up, if you meet someone, enjoy it.
Yes. And, because markets are not just about sourcing for interior designers. There's a lot of educational events. I mean, we did a pricing presentation at, was it Fazy? We did it at Fazy's showroom. Was that it? I don't remember.
Wasn't it J Per?
Oh, maybe it was J Per. I've done it Fazy as well in the past. There are so many educational events that you want to go to as well.
Yeah.
But you can't go to them all. So just pick and choose one educational event, maybe a day, if you can even get to that, or 2 of the days if you're there 4. The other days, pick maybe 3 showrooms a day that you have appointments with, and then give yourself some free time to go to the other places, to meet up with somebody, to sit down and have coffee. And I love the fact that the Interior Design Society, IDS, has a lounge, whether you're a member or not. The lounge is not too far of a walk away and well worth it. They have food, they have drink, they have couches, and they have things to put your feet up. And occasionally they even have a photographer to do headshots or other fun things. And they're just a fun group of people.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's like my little safe space at High Point. When I'm tired, when I just want to check out for a minute, have a seat, have a cookie, have a cup of coffee. I love the IDS Lounge. And there's great humans involved with the IDS. We love them.
Yes.
It's a great group to connect with. Yeah,
the Interior Design Society, you're not going to walk in and they're going to be like, they might ask you if you're a member, but they're not going to overly sell you. They're just going to welcome you. They know you're tired. They know you're overwhelmed. And they actually have a lot of events also that are on the calendar, right? They bring you and I in, sometimes Luann and other people, to make presentations, and they're really very beneficial. So don't overbook yourself, but try to get in 1 or 2 educational things and get to your showrooms and just enjoy it and meet people. One of the tricks I always did was, as I'm walking into a showroom, when I was an art consultant for 17 years, I used to go to High Point for that. And accessories. So I used to buy accessories for my showroom. I would take a picture of the name of the showroom when I walked in, and then take pictures of products that I liked, because I wasn't necessarily buying right then and there all the time. And that was the way then when I got home, I could sort my pictures and know where it came from. Because half the time, the first time I did it, I just took pictures, and I got home and I'm like, okay, this is useless.
That's such a great tip, because then your camera rolls in order and you have a picture of the showroom name and all the products, so you know where everything came from. And you think you're going to remember, you're not going to remember.
You're not going to remember.
So much to take in. Like, truly, it is overwhelming in the best way possible. But there is a lot. So you have to have that filter on. Don't overschedule. Prioritize your showrooms, your events. The concert, there's usually a concert on the Saturday night. That's always you can stay up late enough. I was pretty tired, so I don't always make it till the end of those, but there's a lot of great social stuff too. And I want to make sure that's emphasized, because this is so much about, there's that practical, educational, learning, sourcing component. But oh my gosh, the juice I have after High Point to come back and get back to design and be excited about this again, that is worth the trip alone. So if you're feeling kind of schlumpy, if business is slow, maybe you have a frustrating project, I think shaking it up for a few days, and you don't need to do the whole week at High Point. I find 3 to 4 days is more than enough for me. I've done 2, that's pretty tight, but depending what you can make work, it's such a great way to just reset yourself and be ready to come back hitting the ground running and be in a better headspace to create and to do the work that you love to do.
It reinvigorates a low energy for your business, right? And I will tell you also, and these are just extra tips that are coming to the top of our heads at this point, it's great for your social media.
People love it. People love it.
Love it. Your clients will love it. Your followers will love it. Like, you're checking out this showroom. Look at this. I mean, I'm going to really simplify it. Look at this amazing pillow. I can't wait to find the client to place this pillow in someone's home. Like, you have so much picture taking opportunity when you're there. And of course, what we did was, another extra tip is, there are people there who will do branding photos. Okay, they're probably fully booked at this point, but there are people who will do branding photos while you're there and do it in furniture showrooms.
That matches your brand.
Right, that matches your brand. Now, I just told somebody yesterday, if you cannot afford to hire a photographer to take some pictures, then use your iPhone and have someone take pictures of you in all different showrooms, right? Hopefully you're going with someone, but even if you're not, ask somebody. Everybody wants a picture taken of themselves. So you can say, would you take a picture of me? I'm happy to take a picture of you also. Okay. If you take enough, even selfies, you will get a few photos at least that you can use on your social media, besides a ton of product.
That's a great tip. Yeah. Maximize the crap out of this trip. Social media content, blog content, behind the scenes, client sourcing. Some of this becomes billable if you're looking for client products while you're there. You really can leverage High Point for a lot of great things. I mean, there's other markets too. We're not saying just High Point. It just happens to be later this month. I believe it's October 26th that it starts, but this is the big kahuna. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Vegas market too, because to me it's more manageable. High Point's Vegas is 3 buildings that have, I don't know how many floors. So this is a contained area, where High Point is a whole town that you have to sometimes get on a bus or walk to things, but it is well worth it. So grab our networking tips. It's no cost. I did it years ago. I actually did it, I think, as a presentation at an IDS event, and I was giving tips and I did a presentation. So I just turned it into PDF for all of you. So grab it while you can. There's some great tips on how to just give you a little bit more comfort when you go, how to network effectively, some great ideas. And don't hesitate to book a trip. What I love about our Profit Insider Academy groups is often they become friends and meet up there.
They go together, yeah.
Yeah. Last time, were you there last time I went? We went out to pizza with a bunch of our Profit Insiders. I mean,
that was so fun.
So fun. So this is a place where you can meet people who you just know virtually as well. And it's just such a difference when you meet people in person. So anyway, enough about High Point. If you're going, please grab our networking tips, or if you plan on going in the future, grab the networking tips while they're available, because I'm eventually going to clean up all my free stuff and reduce it. So I have no questions coming in through Instagram, but everybody's watching. So if you're going to High Point, I wish I was going with you to meet you, but not this time. But next time Lesley and I go, we'll certainly let everybody know. You're very welcome. Somebody just said thank you on Instagram. So, all right, we will see you next Thursday for our Profitable Interior Designer broadcast, where we teach out loud, out in the public, mini versions of what we teach behind the scenes to our Profit Insider Group Academy students. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, Lesley.
Bye, everyone.